Imagine this. You are sitting quietly, the noise of the world fading into the background. For the first time in a long time, you simply breathe. No rushing, no chasing, no panicking. And in that moment of stillness, a strange truth begins to reveal itself. You don't need to force life, because everything you truly desire can and will come to you if you learn how to align with it. This is not just fantasy. This is not just wishful thinking. This is the art of manifestation combined with the timeless discipline of Stoicism. Today we begin a journey together, a 1-hour deep dive into how to relax and yet still achieve the life you've always wanted. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man named Alex. He dreamed of becoming a musician. Every day he worked, but the more he pushed, the more frustrated he became. He was chasing so hard that he never stopped to breathe, never stopped to listen, never stopped to align. One night, completely exhausted, he collapsed into sleep. And in that state of surrender, something shifted. Ideas began to flow, melodies appeared in his dreams, and within weeks he had written his best music ever. This story isn't just about music, it's about you. It's about how letting go and learning to relax doesn't weaken your ambition, it unlocks it. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or rather do what is essential, do less better." What he meant was simple. Stop wasting your energy on resistance, on control, on anxiety. Instead, enter the current of life. In this series, we're going to break down 10 timeless methods for manifesting your desires. And in this first part, I'll guide you into the foundation, the power of the mind, and the discipline of relaxation. Think about this. Every invention, every empire, every love story, every transformation in history began in the mind. Your mind is not just a tool, it is the seed from which reality grows. The Stoics believed that perception shapes the world. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And modern science confirms this. Your thoughts literally rewire your brain through neuroplasticity. So what does this mean for manifestation? It means that before you can attract wealth, love, peace, or success, you must become the kind of person who thinks in alignment with those realities. When you think thoughts of scarcity, of fear, of doubt, you program your mind to block opportunities. But when you train yourself to think in terms of abundance, confidence, and gratitude, you unlock doors that seemed invisible. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the life you desire. Don't just see it, feel it. Hear the sounds of that reality. Smell the environment. Place yourself in the scene as if it already exists. Now tell yourself, I already hold this life within me. My mind is fertile soil, and today I plant the seeds. Do this every morning and watch how your mind begins to filter the world differently. You'll notice new chances, new people, new paths, and that's not magic. That's focus. That's Stoic manifestation. The second foundation is learning to flow. Imagine a river. If you jump in and fight against the current, you exhaust yourself and still, the river carries you. But if you relax and align with its direction, you travel faster with less effort. Seneca wrote, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling." Life has a rhythm, a timing. You can resist it or you can harmonize with it. When you relax, you stop forcing. You start noticing. You see the signs, the small opportunities that rushing would blind you to. A woman once applied for dozens of jobs, desperately sending out applications. Nothing worked. One day she stopped, took a week off, and reconnected with herself. A week later, in a casual conversation with a stranger at a coffee shop, she discovered a new opportunity that turned into her dream career. This is the flow. This is what happens when you stop trying to control every detail and start aligning yourself with the rhythm of life. So today we have laid the foundation. Your mind is the seed and the current of life as the river. In the next part, we'll go deeper. We'll explore the force that magnifies everything you think and feel, gratitude, and we'll uncover how the law of attraction is not about dreaming, but about discipline. Stay with me, because if you truly relax into this process, By the end of this journey, you will realize that everything you desire is not far away. It is waiting for you to align. This is the art of manifestation. This is Stoic wisdom for the modern world. In part 1, we explored how the mind is the central force of manifestation, how every thought you hold becomes a seed that has the potential to shape your reality. Now in part 2, we go deeper. We step into one of the most liberating truths of Stoicism and manifestation, the art of going with the flow. Imagine water, a river flowing steadily toward the ocean. It never resists the rocks. It never complains about obstacles. It bends, it curves, it adapts. And because of its adaptability, it always finds its way to the sea. This is what the Stoics meant when they said, live in agreement with nature. They didn't just mean the external world, but also the flow of events, the unfolding of life. Most of our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. When something doesn't go our way, when plans change, when people disappoint us, we tighten up. We fight against the current. And in doing so, we waste energy, we create friction, and we close ourselves off to new opportunities that may be hidden in the flow. Going with the flow does not mean passivity. It does not mean giving up your goals or desires. Instead, it means trusting the direction of life while steering your own vessel with wisdom. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do happen. In that alignment, you will find peace. Now let's bring this principle into manifestation. When you resist life, you send out a vibration of fear, of lack, of desperation. But when you align with life, when you accept change, uncertainty, and flow, you step into a state of harmony. And from this harmony, your desires can manifest more effortlessly. Picture this. You're working toward a dream job. You send out applications. You prepare for interviews. But instead of clinging with desperation to one single outcome, you trust that the right opportunity will come at the right time. Maybe the first company rejects you. Maybe the second one doesn't call back. But because you are in flow, you don't break down. You don't give up. You keep moving forward, and suddenly an opportunity appears that is even better than what you imagined. That is flow. Think of Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome. His days were filled with challenges beyond imagination. Wars, betrayals, plagues. Yet in his meditations, he reminds himself, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way that is the essence of flow. The obstacle itself becomes the path, because you bend around it like water. Now let's ground this into practice. Ask yourself, where in your life are you resisting the flow? Maybe it's a relationship that ended, but you still cling to what it used to be. Maybe it's a project that failed, but instead of learning and adapting, you keep replaying the disappointment. Maybe it's your own expectations of how life should look right now. Today, release the resistance. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, how is this happening for me? What lesson is hidden? What redirection is life offering? When you reframe resistance into flow, you open the door to synchronicities, to opportunities, to manifestations that come not from force, but from alignment. Here's a small exercise. Close your eyes and visualize yourself as a river. See the currents of your life carrying you forward. Notice the rocks, the turns, the drops. But instead of stopping, you move with ease around them. You always progress. You always move forward. Let that image remind you that going with the flow doesn't mean you lose direction. It means you reach your destination with less struggle. The Stoics understood that peace is found not in controlling everything, but in aligning with what is already unfolding. The law of manifestation echoes this. You attract more of what you want, not by fighting against reality, but by flowing with it, and by allowing the current of life to carry you closer to your desires. So part 2 of our journey is this. Embrace the flow. Release the tension. Trust the unfolding. The more you let go of resistance, the more you allow manifestation to happen. And just like water always finds its way to the sea, you too will find your way to everything you desire. We've uncovered the power of the mind, and we've explored the freedom that comes from going with the flow. Now we move into one of the most powerful forces in manifestation, one that both Stoics and modern thinkers agree upon: gratitude. Gratitude is not just a polite thank you. It is not just writing down 3 things you like in a journal and then forgetting about it. Gratitude is a radical shift in perception. It is choosing to see life not through the lens of what is missing, but through the lens of what is already abundant. And when you live from that state of abundance, you become a magnet. You draw more of what you appreciate. Seneca, one of the great Stoics, wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Why? Because gratitude transforms how you experience every single moment. Imagine 2 people walking under the same sky. One sees nothing but problems, the traffic, the noise, the stress. The other notices the sunlight breaking through the clouds, the cool breeze on their face, the chance to be alive today. Which one do you think will manifest more joy, more opportunities, more harmony? It is always the one who lives in gratitude. Gratitude is not passive, it is active energy. When you say thank you to life, you are in fact saying, "More of this, please." You are telling the universe that you recognize its gifts, and in doing so, you open the door for more gifts to arrive. Let's connect this to manifestation. Many people approach their desires from a place of lack. They say, "I want money because I don't have enough. I want love because I am lonely. I want success because I feel like a failure." But think about the vibration behind those thoughts. They come from absence. They come from emptiness. And the law of attraction responds not to your words, but to your energy. If you project lack, you attract more lack. But gratitude flips the script. Instead of asking from emptiness, you give thanks from fullness. You begin to recognize what is already here, the small opportunities, the relationships, the lessons, even the challenges. And in that state of appreciation, you align yourself with abundance. You no longer beg, you attract. Marcus Aurelius reminds himself in Meditations, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Imagine starting every day from that perspective. Suddenly, instead of chasing happiness, you radiate it. And when you radiate happiness, you pull in more reasons to be happy. Let me give you a real-world example. Think of someone working toward financial freedom. Instead of obsessing over the money they don't have, they choose gratitude for what is already present. A skill set, a supportive friend, a roof over their head, even just the opportunity to try. From that energy, they make decisions not from desperation, but from empowerment. They notice doors opening. They meet people who resonate with their energy. Gratitude becomes the magnet that pulls opportunities closer. Now here's the truth. Gratitude is most powerful not when life is easy, but when life is hard. It's easy to say thank you when everything is going your way. But the Stoic discipline, in the true art of manifestation, is to be grateful even in challenge. To say, "Thank you for this obstacle because it is shaping me. Thank you for this delay because it is protecting me from what I cannot yet see. Thank you for this pain because it teaches me strength." Epictetus, who was once a slave, taught this exact principle. He could have cursed his condition. He could have drowned in bitterness. But instead he chose gratitude for what no one could take from him: his freedom of mind, his ability to choose his response, his capacity to grow from adversity. And from that gratitude, he became one of the greatest philosophers in history. Now let's practice. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Think of 3 things you are grateful for right now, not tomorrow, not when you finally achieve your goals. Right now. It could be as simple as the fact that your heart is beating, that you are listening to this, that you have survived every challenge so far. Hold that gratitude. Feel it expand in your chest. This is not just a thought, it is a frequency. Every morning, you can do this. Every evening, you can close your eyes and whisper, "Thank you." These simple acts create an unshakable vibration of abundance. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Soon, gratitude is not just something you practice. It becomes who you are. And here is the secret. When you live in gratitude, you stop chasing. You stop forcing. You already feel abundant. And from that state, everything you desire begins to flow toward you with greater ease. You don't demand, you attract. you don't worry, you trust. So part 3 of our journey is this: cultivate gratitude, like your life depends on it. Because in truth, the quality of your life does depend on it. Gratitude is the magnet of abundance. And the more you use it, the more you will realize that everything you seek is already on its way to you. We've built a foundation: the power of the mind, the art of going with the flow, and the magnetism of gratitude. Now in part 4, we step into one of the most misunderstood yet profoundly powerful forces of manifestation, the power of attraction. When people hear law of attraction, they often imagine it as a kind of magic think about money, and it falls from the sky, dream about love, and someone knocks on your door. But that is not how it works. The Stoics, and even modern science, would remind us, attraction is about alignment, not fantasy. Think of yourself as a tuning fork. When you strike it, it vibrates at a certain frequency. If another tuning fork tuned to the same frequency is nearby, it begins to vibrate as well. That is resonance. That is attraction. In the same way, your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, beliefs vibrates constantly. And the outer world responds by matching your frequency. If you walk through life radiating fear, lack, and desperation, you attract experiences that reflect that energy. But if you walk through life radiating clarity, gratitude, confidence, and trust, the world bends to meet you there. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, that is attraction." You color your inner world, and slowly your outer world reflects that color back to you. But here's the key: attraction is not just about thinking positively. It is about embodying the energy of your desire now. For example, if you want love, do not sit in loneliness, waiting for someone to complete you. Embody love now. Treat yourself with kindness. Build connections with people around you. Radiate warmth. And soon love finds you because you already became its source. If you want success, don't sit in scarcity, complaining about what you don't have. Embody success now. Show up on time. Be disciplined. Act with integrity. Train your mind. Build small wins. You become the type of person success is naturally attracted to. This is the Stoic way. Epictetus didn't just teach philosophy, he lived it. His freedom was taken from him, yet he embodied freedom through his mind. And that embodiment created his legacy. The law of attraction works in the same manner. You don't wait for your dream to arrive to feel fulfilled. You feel fulfilled, and your dream arrives. Now let's break this down into practice. Step 1, clarity. Be specific about what you want. The mind cannot attract a blurry target. Do you want financial stability? How much? By when? Do you want health? What does that look like in daily practice? Do you want love? What qualities do you seek in a partner? Write it down. Name it. Clarity is power. Step 2, embodiment. Ask yourself, if I already had this desire fulfilled, how would I feel? How would I act? How would I carry myself? And then begin to live that way now. For example, if your dream is abundance, carry yourself with generosity today, even in small ways. If your dream is confidence, begin speaking with assurance, even in small conversations. Step 3, trust the process. This is where Stoicism grounds the law of attraction. The Stoics knew that you cannot control timing or external outcomes. What you can control is your alignment, your daily actions, your mindset, your emotional state. So you act, you embody, you trust, you plant the seed, water it, but you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You allow it time. Think of the farmer. He doesn't scream at the soil demanding crops. He plants, waters, nurtures, and trusts the seasons. That is attraction. And when you align your inner world with patience and faith, life begins to mirror it back in its own time. Now let's ground this with a short exercise. Close your eyes. Picture one desire you deeply want. Imagine yourself already living it. Feel the sensations in your body, the peace, the joy, the confidence, the freedom. Hold that feeling for a moment. That is your frequency. That is the vibration you must carry every day, not just in meditation, but in action, in speech, in thought. The more you embody it, the faster life will respond, because you are no longer chasing from a place of lack. You are attracting from a place of abundance. This is not wishful thinking. Neuroscience shows that when you repeatedly imagine yourself already living your desired reality, your brain wires itself as if it were true. You begin to notice opportunities, take aligned action, and act with confidence. And soon your outer world shifts to reflect your inner world. So part 4 of our journey is this. Use the power of attraction by aligning your energy with your desires. Don't wait for success to make you disciplined. Be disciplined, and success will follow. Don't wait for love to make you kind. Be kind, and love will find you. Don't wait for abundance to make you generous. Be generous, and abundance will flow. Attraction is not about waiting. It is about becoming. And when you become, you will always attract everything you truly desire. By now, we've uncovered the power of the mind, the flow of life, gratitude as a magnet, and the law of attraction as alignment. But there's another principle, one that Stoicism and manifestation both teach. You must train your eyes to see abundance. Here's the truth. Abundance is already around you. Opportunity surrounds you every day. But most people cannot see it because their mind is trapped in scarcity. They look at the world and only notice what is missing. They count what they don't have. They measure what others achieved and compare it to their own lack. And when your perception is tuned only to scarcity, you walk past abundance without ever recognizing it. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This was not a rejection of abundance. It was a reminder that abundance begins in perception. A person who has little, but who sees the gift in that little, is wealthier in spirit than the millionaire who sees only what is missing. But here's the secret. When you train yourself to see abundance, you don't just feel richer. You literally attract more abundance into your life. Why? Because your brain begins to work differently. Psychologists call it the reticular activating system, the filter in your mind that determines what you notice. When you focus on scarcity, your brain shows you more reasons to feel poor. When you focus on abundance, your brain highlights opportunities, possibilities, connections that were always there, but hidden. Think of it like buying a new car. You never noticed that model before, but the moment you drive it, suddenly you see it everywhere on the road. Did the cars magically appear? Your brain just started to notice. That's how abundance works. When you train your eyes to see it, you begin to see it everywhere. Now let's connect this to Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius reminds himself daily, consider the wealth you have, your breath, your mind, your ability to reason, your capacity to act with justice. To him, abundance wasn't measured in gold or possessions. It was measured in the inner riches no one could take away. And because he recognized abundance in himself, he ruled not with desperation, but with steadiness. But what does this mean for you and me? It means that every single day you must deliberately notice abundance, not just money. Abundance in friendships, in health, in opportunities, in knowledge, in lessons, even abundance in time. Every moment you're alive is abundance. Every breath you take is abundance. Here's a practice. The abundance scan. Each morning before you dive into your day, pause for 1 minute. Scan your environment, your life, your heart. Ask what abundance is already present here. Maybe it's the sunlight coming through your window. Maybe it's the phone in your hand, a tool connecting you to the entire world. Maybe it's your resilience, your persistence, your ability to learn. When you consistently do this, you reprogram your mind. You stop saying, I'll feel abundant when I get X. Instead, you feel abundant now. And here's the paradox. When you live as if you already have abundance, you attract even more. Let me share a story. A young entrepreneur was struggling. He focused only on the clients he didn't have, the money he hadn't earned. Then one day he shifted his perspective. He began listing the abundance he already had, a skill set, access to free tools online, a supportive community. With that shift, he started noticing small opportunities he had ignored. Partnerships, small contracts, free resources. Slowly, momentum built. Within months, his business grew. The abundance was always there. He just needed to train his eyes to see it. Gratitude opens the heart. Attraction aligns the energy. but mindfulness of abundance sharpens the vision. And when the heart, energy, and vision work together, manifestation becomes inevitable. Now take this moment and reflect. What abundance are you overlooking right now? Is there an opportunity disguised as a challenge? Is there support from a friend that you haven't fully appreciated? Is there knowledge at your fingertips that could open doors if you applied it? The Stoics would tell you, abundance is not found by chasing the future. It is found by opening your eyes to the present. And the more you recognize it now, the more it multiplies tomorrow. So part 5 of our journey is this: train your eyes to see abundance. Scarcity blinds, abundance reveals. And when you live in awareness of the richness already present, you will find that life continuously hands you more. We've spoken about the mind, the flow of life, the magnetism of gratitude, the law of attraction, and training our eyes to see abundance. Now we turn to a source of power that most people underestimate, yet it is one of the greatest tools you have for manifestation: the power of sleep. Think about it. Every day, no matter who you are, no matter how powerful or powerless you feel, life commands you to rest. 8 hours every night, your conscious mind surrenders. And during that time, your subconscious takes over. That is the very space where beliefs are reinforced, where imagination runs free, where healing and integration happen. Modern neuroscience confirms what the ancients intuited. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories, rewires connections, and prepares you for the next day. In other words, your mind is sculpting itself while you sleep. If you learn how to direct it before you drift off, you can turn those hours into one of the most powerful manifestation rituals of your life. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive. But there is also wisdom in the way you fall asleep, because the state of your mind as you close your eyes sets the tone for what your subconscious continues to work on through the night." Now let's connect this to manifestation. Many people go to bed consumed by worry. They replay the problems of the day, the arguments, the fears of tomorrow. And what happens? Their subconscious marinates in fear all night. They wake up heavy, drained, repeating the same cycle. But what if you use those final minutes before sleep differently? What if, instead of worry, you fed your subconscious gratitude, abundance, vision, and peace? Imagine falling asleep each night with the thought, "I am becoming everything I desire. Life is aligning in my favor." I trust the flow. Your subconscious would carry those vibrations throughout the night, strengthening them, embedding them deeper into your identity. Here's a simple but powerful practice. Before bed, take a notebook and write down 3 things. 1 thing you are grateful for today, 1 desire you are attracting into your life, 1 affirmation of trust, such as, "Everything is unfolding for me in perfect timing." Then as you lie down, close your eyes and visualize yourself already living your desire. See it clearly. Feel the emotions, the joy, the freedom, the peace. Let that be the final imprint on your mind before you fall asleep. This isn't fantasy. It is planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious. And during the night, that seed begins to take root. Think of the Stoic approach to rest. They saw sleep not as wasted time, but as part of nature's order. Seneca wrote, "He who sleeps little, lives little." To him, rest was essential, not indulgent. It was the balance to labor, the renewal of energy, the quiet preparation for tomorrow's trials. If you see sleep as sacred, you transform it into a practice of power. There is also another layer. In the quiet of night, the mind often receives insights it could not grasp during the busyness of the day. How many times have you gone to sleep confused, only to wake up with clarity? How many times has a solution arrived out of nowhere after rest? This is not random. It is the mind aligning in silence, reorganizing itself while the ego sleeps. So if you want to manifest more effectively, respect your sleep, guard it, turn it into ritual. No screens in the final minutes, no negativity. Instead, gratitude, visualization, trust. Let's try a short guided exercise right now. Imagine yourself lying down, ready to drift off. Feel your body sinking into the bed, heavy and relaxed. Now bring to mind 1 desire. Visualize it as if it's already real. Picture the details, the place, the people, the emotions. See yourself smiling, calm, fulfilled. Whisper to yourself, "This is already mine. Life is aligning in my favor." Then let go. Drift into sleep with that vibration. This nightly ritual, practiced consistently, becomes one of the most powerful manifestation tools. Why? Because manifestation is not about force, it's about alignment. And sleep allows alignment to sink deeper than waking willpower ever could. So part 6 of our journey is this. Harness the power of sleep. Treat it not as an escape, but as a temple. Each night, feed your mind gratitude, vision, and trust. Let your subconscious work while you rest, and watch as life begins to bring you closer and closer to everything you desire.